If you spent your career as a public school teacher, a police officer, a firefighter, or any kind of state or local government worker, or if you are married to one, or you buried one, there is a very real chance that the Social Security Administration is holding money that belongs to you. Not a scam, not a gimmick, a benefit that was taken from people like you for more than 40 years, and that the law finally gave back. The checks have already gone out to millions, but there is one group, and it might be you, that has to raise a hand and claim it, or it slips away quietly for good. By the end of this video, you will know exactly 5 things. You will know what the 2 old rules were that quietly shrank Social Security checks for public servants. You will know why a law signed in early 2025 erased them and sent billions of dollars back to people who earned it. You will know who already got their money automatically and never had to lift a finger. You will know the one group that still has to apply by hand or get nothing. And you will know the 6-month clock that decides how much of that money you actually keep. Before I go one sentence further, let me clear up the 2 reactions that make people click away from a video like this. The first is, this doesn't apply to me. I'm not a teacher. Stay with me. Because this reaches firefighters, police officers, many state and federal workers under the older system, and this is the big one, the husbands and wives and widows of every one of them. The second reaction is, I already got my adjustment automatically, so I'm done. Maybe. But automatic only covered the people who were already collecting a check. If you were ever told a benefit would be 0, you may have never applied at all, and the automatic system cannot pay a claim you never filed. So whether you think this is for you or not, give me the next few minutes. Now, the part I say in every video and mean every time. I am not a lawyer, I am not a CPA, and I am not your financial advisor. Everything here is educational, based on current rules as of 2026 and public information from the Social Security Administration. Your situation is your own, so confirm anything in this video with the Social Security Administration or a qualified professional before you act on it. My name is Harrison, and on this channel, I take the retirement rules the system keeps quiet and translate them into plain English before they cost you. If that is useful to you, hit the like button and subscribe right now. Because this particular rule change is one of the few times in recent memory the government actually handed money back to ordinary retirees. And the people who miss out are almost always the ones nobody bothered to tell. So let me show you how this works through one person. We will call her Sharon. Sharon is made up, but her situation is shared by millions. And once you see how it landed on her, you will see whether it landed on you too. To understand the money, you have to understand 2 rules with 2 of the most forgettable names in government. The first was called the Windfall Elimination Provision. The second was called the Government Pension Offset. Write those names down if you want, but you do not need to memorize them. You just need to know what they did. Back in the late 1970s and early 1980s, lawmakers looked at a particular kind of worker, someone who spent years in a job that did not pay into Social Security, like a lot of teaching jobs, a lot of police and fire departments, and certain government positions. And they decided that the way Social Security's formula treated those workers was too generous. So they built 2 adjustments to claw some of it back. The Windfall Elimination Provision reduced your own Social Security check if you had also earned a pension from a job where you did not pay Social Security taxes. The Government Pension Offset did something even harsher. It reduced, and very often completely erased, the spousal and survivor benefits you could collect on your husband's or wife's record. And here's the part that should make you genuinely angry. In a lot of cases, the offset wiped the benefit all the way down to 0. A widow who had been married for decades could walk into a Social Security office and be told she would receive nothing on her late husband's record because she had the nerve to also earn a teacher's pension. And I want to be fair to the people who wrote those rules, because this channel does not deal in villains. The original idea was not lunacy. The Social Security formula gives a bigger boost to people who look like low lifetime earners, and a teacher with 30 years and a non-covered pension can look low earning to the formula even though they are not. So the adjustments were meant to even that out. The problem is they were blunt instruments. They did not gently even things out. They sometimes took hundreds of dollars a month from people who had already done everything right, paid their taxes, served their communities, planned carefully. And the people on the receiving end were almost never told in plain language why their check was smaller. For decades, roughly 2.5 to 3 million workers had their own benefits trimmed by the first rule, and another 700,000 or so, overwhelmingly, widows and widowers had spousal or survivor benefits cut or erased by the second. That is not a rounding error. That is a small country of retirees. That brings us to Sharon. Picture a woman, 68 years old, who taught third grade in Texas for almost 30 years. In a lot of Texas school districts, teachers are in a state pension system and do not pay into Social Security on those wages. So when Sharon retired, she had a teacher's pension. Let's say it came to about $2,100 a month, and she was proud of it. She earned every penny of it. But Sharon had also worked summers and a few years before teaching at jobs that did pay into Social Security. So she had her own small Social Security benefit too. On paper, it should have been around $700 a month. Because of the Windfall Elimination Provision, it was cut down to closer to $300. She did not understand why. She just knew the number was smaller than she expected, and someone at some point told her, "That's just how it works for teachers," and she stopped asking. Then her husband passed away. He had spent his whole career in the private sector, paying into Social Security the normal way. Sharon went to claim a survivor's benefit on his record, the benefit a widow is supposed to receive, and she was told that because of the government pension offset, 2/3 of her teacher's pension would be subtracted from it. 2/3 of $2,100 is $1,400. Her survivor benefit was smaller than that, so the answer she got was simple and brutal. Zero. Nothing. So Sharon did what almost everyone in her shoes did. She never filed for it. Why would you file for nothing? I want you to sit with that, because it is the quiet heart of this whole story. Now, here is what changed. In the final days of 2024, Congress passed a law to repeal both of those rules, and it was signed in early January of 2025. The official name is the Social Security Fairness Act. What it did is simple. The Windfall Elimination Provision and the government pension offset are gone, erased. The last month they applied was December of 2023, which means starting with benefits for January of 2024, public servants get their full, unreduced Social Security, and it was made retroactive. So everyone who had been getting a reduced check was owed back pay all the way to January of 2024. The Social Security Administration moved faster than almost anyone expected. By the middle of 2025, it had already sent out more than 3 million payments, totaling somewhere around $17 billion to people whose checks had been reduced. About 3.2 million people are affected in total. To put a number on what was being taken, the first rule was cutting the average affected worker's own check by somewhere in the neighborhood of $400 to $500 a month, and at the maximum it could reach close to $600. The second rule, the one that hit survivors, was cutting those benefits by an average of around $700 a month, and again, in many cases, all the way to nothing. Multiply numbers like that across decades, and you understand why the back pay deposits, when they finally came, were large enough to change people's lives. The folks who were already collecting Social Security mostly got two things automatically: a bigger monthly check going forward and a one-time deposit covering the back pay. They did not have to do anything. The money just showed up. If that is you, wonderful. Go check your statement, confirm the increase landed, and you are in good shape. But that automatic group is not who this video is really for. Quick question while we're here, and I read these. Did you or your spouse or one of your parents ever work a public sector job teaching police, fire, or government where Social Security was not taken out of the paycheck? Type the job in the comments. One word is fine. I want to see how many of you are sitting on this without knowing it, because here is what the headlines mostly skipped. The automatic payments only reached people the system was already paying. The Social Security Administration can recalculate a check it is already sending. What it cannot do is pay you for a benefit you never claimed. And that is exactly the trap so many public servants fell into. Go back to Sharon. Sharon was never collecting that survivor's benefit. because she was told years ago it would be zero, so she never filed an application for it. From the computer's point of view, Sharon does not have a survivor's claim on file. So when the offset was repealed, there was nothing automatic to fix. No claim, no recalculation, no check. The repeal made her eligible, fully eligible for a survivor's benefit she could not collect before. But the only way that benefit ever reaches her is if Sharon walks in or calls in and actually files for it now. This is not a loophole and it is not a gray area. It is the single most common way people are leaving real money unclaimed right now. The ones who got hit hardest by the old offset, the widows and widowers who were told you get nothing and gave up, are the exact same people the automatic system skips over today because there is no existing check to raise. The cruelty of it is almost poetic. The people who were hurt the most have to work the hardest to get made whole. And it is not only widows and not only teachers. Let me give you two more quick pictures so you can find yourself in this. Imagine a retired firefighter, call him Raymond, who put in 25 years at a department in a state where firefighters were not in the Social Security system. Like Sharon, he had a side job for years that did pay in, so he had his own small Social Security benefit, and the Windfall Elimination Provision had been shaving it down for as long as he had been collecting. Raymond was already getting a check, so his fix was automatic bigger check plus back pay. He is the lucky kind. He just needs to confirm it happened. Now imagine a retired police officer whose wife never worked outside the home. He is collecting his pension and a reduced Social Security check. If he passes, his widow may be entitled to a survivor's benefit that, under the old rule, would have been offset into nothing, and that she might assume, to this day, is not worth applying for. That assumption is now wrong, but no one is going to knock on her door to tell her. The responsibility falls on one person, her. So now the part that turns this from interesting into urgent. The 6-month clock. When the Social Security Administration fixes a check you were already getting, it can pay you back to January of 2024 because you were in the system that whole time. But when you file a brand new application like Sharon filing for that survivor's benefit, she never claimed the rules that limit how far back a new claim can pay still apply. For most retirement and spousal benefits, a new application generally only pays up to 6 months before the month you file, not back to 2024. 6 months, read that slowly because it changes the math completely. Every month that Sharon waits to file is potentially a month of benefits she will never see. This is not money the system is holding in a safe for her. It is money that quietly expires. The repeal opened the door, but the 6-month window means the longer you stand in the hallway, the smaller the check waiting on the other side. So if there is any chance a survivor's or spousal benefit applies to you, the worst thing you can do is what feels natural. Wait, think about it, get to it next year. Waiting has a price, and the price is paid in benefits that simply vanish. If this is opening your eyes and if you are realizing this might apply to someone you love, take 1 second and tap the like button. It genuinely helps this reach other retirees and their families who have no idea this clock is running. There is one more belief I need to knock down before we get to the steps, because it is keeping people from claiming right now. It is the belief that I have a government pension, so I'm not really a Social Security person. This isn't for me. That belief was practically trained into public servants for 40 years, because for 40 years it was almost true. The offset made their Social Security so small it felt like it did not exist. But the thing that made it feel that way is the exact thing that just got repealed. So if you have spent your life assuming Social Security is not really for people like you, I am asking you to set that assumption down for 10 minutes and actually check. The assumption was installed by a rule that no longer exists. So let's make it concrete. Here is what to actually do, step by step. First, figure out if you are in the affected group at all. The simple test: did you or the spouse whose record you would claim on work in a job with a pension where Social Security was not withheld from the paycheck? If yes, this touches you. Second, if you are already collecting Social Security and your check went up sometime in 2025, you were probably handled automatically. Just confirm the new amount and that the back pay arrived. If something looks off, you can ask about it. Third, and this is the important one, if you never applied for a benefit because you were told it would be reduced to nothing, you need to file now. For your own retirement benefit or a spousal benefit, the most direct way is online at sa.gov/apply. When the application asks about your pension, answer honestly, it will still ask, but it will no longer be used to cut your benefit. Fourth, if you are a widow or widower claiming a survivor's benefit, you generally cannot do that one online. You have to call. The number is 1-800-772-1213. When you get the menu, you can say Fairness Act to point yourself in the right direction. Have your own Social Security number, your pension paperwork, and your late spouse's information ready before you call. And one more group, often forgotten. If you are a public servant who has not started Social Security at all yet, maybe you have been living on your pension and figured the Social Security piece was not worth claiming, it is worth a fresh look now. The benefit will be calculated without the old reduction. The same 6-month limit applies to a new claim, and the same ordinary rules about claiming age still apply. So this is exactly the kind of decision worth running carefully rather than rushing. But not worth it was an answer built on the old math, and the old math is gone. Now I have to be honest about the limit of a video like this. I have given you the general shape of the rules, and that shape is right for the large majority of public servants and their families watching. But your exact benefit depends on your own work history, your own pension, your own state, and whether you are claiming on your record or someone else's. So please do not walk away with only a vague feeling that there might be money. Walk away and actually run your own situation. Call the Social Security Administration or sit down with someone qualified and put real numbers to it. Before I let you go, 2 quick questions, because your answers genuinely shape what I cover next. First, before this video, did you know that the offset could legally reduce a widow's survivor benefit all the way to 0? Type yes or no in the comments. I think the no column is going to be enormous. Second, tell me where you stand. Are you the public servant here? Are you the spouse? Or are you watching this for a parent? That tells me exactly who is on the other side of the screen, and it tells me what to dig into next. Here's the thought I want to leave you with. For more than 40 years, the people who taught our kids, answered our emergencies, and ran into the buildings the rest of us ran out of were quietly handed a smaller retirement than the math actually owed them. That has finally been corrected. But a correction on paper only becomes money in a real account when someone knows to claim it. The system fixed the rule. It did not promise to come find every person it had shortchanged. That last step, the knowing, is exactly what this channel exists to hand you. So if this video helped you, hit subscribe so the next thing the system quietly changes does not catch you off guard. And then send this video to one person you love who spent their life in public service, a teacher, a police officer, a firefighter, or the husband or wife who stood beside them. That one share could be the only reason they ever claim what they are owed. That, more than anything, is what this channel is here to do. I will see you in the next one.